and Billy for your confirmation. So today it will be a shorter live chat than last time because I have people coming visiting me at 5 o'clock here at Berlin time. It's now 4 o'clock, so I only wanted to quickly go over some news and tease you about some rumors, because this is a classic quiet before the storm situation. From what I know, starting from mid-April, we will get quite a series of announcements from many companies, so it will become very busy. So this will probably be the last relatively quiet week for me for a long time. Also, just for your information, the environment here is noisy because there are kids playing, cars passing by, but I couldn't find a better spot because in the house I have other people, so it is what it is. So before I answer your questions, I will quickly go through the 3-4 main news. It will take 1-2 minutes, and then tease you about the upcoming cameras that will be announced between mid-April and June. This also will take 2-3 minutes, and in 5-6-7 minutes then I will take your questions and let me know what if there's something that I missed to report on news and rumors and that you want to know. So let's kick off with a very important news, because as you know, the Sony firmware update has been released and it is quite buggy. I made a list of some of the bugs that I found on my previous videos, but what I didn't report is that there is a workaround to fix the Wi-Fi Bluetooth connection. So if you have the Sony A1 or also the Sony A7S III and you are experiencing some connection issues, then you can go on sonyalpha.com, and here you can read what Sony told us to do to get Wi-Fi and Bluetooth working again. So I'm not going to read you the whole text, just screenshot it and do it for yourself. This is the first thing that is very important. On Sony Rumors, I just published also a petition that asks Sony to implement custom LUT on the Sony A7S III. So if you want to sign it, as you know, many Sony cameras do support custom LUTs like the FX3, FX30, the ZV1, the A7C II, but not the A7S III. So hopefully this can be done by Sony, and we have to ask them through the petition to do that. The next news of the day is the 24-50 2.8G lens that was announced in February will ship 2 weeks earlier than expected. So now it's May 10 in the US, which is good news because previously I heard about some kind of production bottleneck. So it seems like Sony is getting rid of that bottleneck, or there is a worse news that the pre-orders of that lens were so low that they can afford to ship it earlier, but that's something I don't know. The next news is that the Sony FX3, that's German, that's me talking in German, FX3 got the very first $200 price drop in the US. So after exactly 3 years, for the first time, the camera got a discount. Some people ask me if it means that the FX3 II is coming soon. I didn't get any info at all about the new FX3 II, so I don't think it's coming, but yeah, that's still some news that after 3 years they decided to give us a discount. So those were quickly the news, and now I walk you through the latest rumors, and then we can chat about the rumors and the news. Regarding Sony, we have a news that in mid of April we will have the an announcement which is for the 16-25 2.8. Okay, I don't know if there is anything else that will be announced mid of April. I have no info, but I know there is another announcement in May-June where we'll get the Sony ZV-E10 and the 85 1.4 GM2. The only other product that has to be announced within the next 2-3 months is the Sony 24-70mm 2.0, but I don't know when this lens is coming. I hope it's coming mid of April, but that's just me sharing a hope and not a rumor. Then we have some Nikon rumors. Yeah, there are apparently 2 tilt shift lenses that could be coming sometimes in 1-2 years. The most important news is that the Nikon Z6III is coming likely May-June. There are a bunch of specs, but nothing of those specs screams like, wow, it's worth to be really considered. I mean, it will be probably an slight upgrade, but nothing revolutionary. Way more important and interesting is the fact that I have now ads going over here, so I have to reload the page, that Canon officially registered 2 new cameras in China, which means they will be announced between May and July. One is definitely Canon R5II, and the other one should be the R1. That's the only rumor we have about those cameras. The specs that are rumored are really wild, so wild means unconfirmed, so I don't know if it's worth to be read, because I don't see this happening anytime soon. And last curiosity, the last news of the day is that there are multiple reports about increase of sales of all digital compact cameras and film cameras. The generation Z is buying all digital cameras to take their photos because they have more kind of unclean and film-alike look, and they also buy film cameras and to get that kind of film look that is very loved by the Z generation. Maybe the sad news is that they buy film cameras, they ask for the digital scan, and then they throw away the negatives. They are really not interested in keeping negatives or printing images. They only want that kind of look, and I think that's also why cameras like the Fuji X100VI are selling well, or other Fuji cameras, because they have those kind of film styles. So those were the news and rumors that I shared this week, and like I said, this is just the beginning. Expect that mid of April there will be first of Sony announcement, but then there will be Canon and Nikon rumors because they have cameras to announce. Sony will also announce the ZV-E10 II, so there will be those 3-4 cameras coming in May and June. And probably for us alpha shooters, the most exciting announcement will be the 24-70mm 2.0. Let's hope that I will get the final announcement date for this lens, but this is probably a highlight of the first half of the year. Second half of the year we will get some alpha cameras from Sony that are way more exciting than the ZV-E10 II. So I will now scroll through the comments and try to answer as best as I can to your questions. So let's kick off with John B asking about the RX100 successor. I got no info at all about any possible RX100 camera. There will be a news on Sony Rumors next week where I will walk you through the Google Trends search, because it appears that there is a comeback of interest for the RX100 series, probably because people are hyped about the fixed lens compact digital camera, and the Fuji is not available yet, and so they're looking for alternatives. Among them, the RX100 is a good affordable alternative, but I didn't hear about any new camera coming. Chinito asks, I have no info about this, Chinito, sorry, so I cannot answer. What do you think is the Sony lens rollout for second half of this year? Thank you. So I know there are 4 lenses coming between now and June. Those are the 85 1.4 GM2, the 24-70 2.0, 1625 2.8G, and another lens, but should not be really exciting, but some kind of update of a lens that will be coming. Regarding the second half, I didn't get anything solid as of yet, so I cannot share anything that is reliable. I got some unconfirmed rumors, early rumors, about other 2 lenses and updates of current zoom lenses. I hope that the 2 exciting lens rumors I got are true, but I don't know. But if those were true, then we can expect more exciting, unique kind of lenses from Sony. But it's all really wild as of yet. Maggie asked when will Sony sort out the firmware problem. I have no clue, I have got no info. I think it will take longer than I expected, because there is a series of bugs. So there's not only one bug like the Wi-Fi connection, but also the draining of the battery, some issues with autofocus with third-party lenses, and so forth. So I think it will take longer than I expected. Sebartus asked about a new higher than A6700 model. I didn't hear anything at all about such a camera. As you know, I told you previously, I'm a big fan of the idea of having a A7000, which means an aps-c camera inside an A7 style body, but not going to happen, I guess. What other aps-c cameras Sony plan for this year? Only ZV-E10II, as far as I know, yes, but I don't know everything, so there are always some things that they keep very hidden, or they anticipate, or I don't know, but as of now I have no other info. The Tempic, yeah, I read this also in the comments on my YouTube video, and I forgot to answer. I have mistaken a part where to show you that some of those industrial sensors are being used on cameras, so I have to make a correction. There are some of such sensors that are being used on normal cameras. I'm scrolling down to read all the other comments. Any news about the 100, 105, 1.4 GM? I got nothing about those lenses, sorry. Sorry, I got a bit lost because there are many comments, so I have to see about the GH7. No info at all about the GH7. All we know is that Lumix Panasonic did register 3 new cameras, so I hope that one of the cameras is the GH7, but that's all I got as of now. Jonathan Ebart, that's also my assumption that the 24 to 50mm 2.8G lens that was announced in February by Sony had very low pre-orders. At least I can tell you that I made no pre-orders on sonyalpha, which is very bad. Usually you make a couple of pre-orders, and I make usually a living of those kind of pre-orders, but lately I made near 0 pre-orders on all the recent announcements, also on the Sigma lenses, so not good for my business. If that's also one of the reasons why I started to do YouTube videos, because I cannot rely anymore on pre-orders to make to live from the website. So I have to change something. If Sony launches a firmware update that fixes all the bugs, I don't expect any new feature to come. I think we have seen that Sony showed us they are willing to bring new features on the cameras, but it's taking a long time for them. Even the FX3 and FX30, they will get a firmware update in autumn. They already teased this. I think they don't have, as of now, the resources to bring firmware update on a timely manner, which means that you don't have to wait a long time. I think it will take some time. About the alpha cameras that come in the second half of the year. So we had quite a boring start of the year. I checked, and I think this is the worst start for Sony since ever, because usually we always got one camera in January or in February, March, CPU Plus show, or right after the CPU Plus show, late of March. This is the first time that in the first 3 months of the year we didn't get any camera from Sony. And I do believe the reason was also because the A9 III was officially rumored to be announced in January, and they anticipated it. So I think that's probably a reason. And but anyway, I've been assured by reliable sources, so very trusted sources, new alpha cameras will come in the second half of the year. I'm working on those rumors, also because one of the cameras might be something different, but this is just not confirmed yet. I hope it's the case. I would love to get something that is unexpected, but let's see. I don't know. I don't think Sony will do tilt shift lenses. I got no info about this, but I don't think. Also about the 24-200mm lens successor, I have no confirmation. What I got from trusted sources is that some of the older zoom lenses will be updated. That's the plan. So I can expect some of those lenses to come this year, but I don't know if this will be also for 24-200mm G lens. Anything else on the RX1 replacement? Yes, I'm working on it. Bill, this will be one of the major rumors I'm working on. because I have actually one source that let's say it's a bit close to that kind of department, but still the info got is not sufficient to be shared with confidence, on sonyalpha.com. So I'm working on it, but I got no confirmation that it will be coming this year. I think Andy, the question already answered to you. Any chance of getting a new Sony large wildlife lens? I hope so, because Nikon and Canon are releasing quite some stunning telephoto lenses for sports photographers, wildlife photographers, and I think Sony should step up the game here, because a lens like the Canon 100-300mm 2.8G is quite stunning, and I would love to get this one on for this alpha mount, so like for the E mount, sorry, like the Canon 100-300mm is quite a stunning lens, expensive lens, but I think it's selling really well, and also some of the Nikon telephoto lenses are selling extremely well. That's something I hear, so I hope Sony will catch up on that. I got no word about this. I do own the lens, the 28-200mm lens, and I'm super happy with it, because it's such a easy lens to carry with you when you hike. Or I do a lot of mountain biking, hiking, and or ski touring, and you can do nearly everything with it. So I'm super happy with the lens. I don't know if there will be an update of this lens. I'm sorry, I have to again scroll down because there are many questions. Damn, I got a bit lost. The super zoom, Brian, you mean the 24-70mm 2.0 or something else? I don't know what you meant, sorry. I agree with Shabab when he says that new Sony 2.0 zoom is important, but only 1% of the customer will buy it. I agree. This is a kind of lens that will be useful for some pros, of course, but mainly it's a kind of lens to attract people, to create some buzz and wipe around the Sony E-mount. Also letting know that you can do 2.0 zooms on E-mount, and but of course it will be expensive, probably more than $3,000. Brian LaGuardia writes about the Nikon 400, 600, 800mm lenses. They are excellent lenses, and Sony has to catch up. So I think when it comes to telephoto lenses, Sony is lagging a tiny bit behind Canon and Nikon. So I hope they will do it, but didn't hear anything about it. No, I have no rumor about Nikon Redco RAW Atomos connection. Maybe I have to ask, because I have actually now a Nikon source. He also shared correctly the specs of the latest 28-400mm zoom, so I hope that he will also share me some details about that. I have no info about the A7S4 and FX camera release date. I got an info about a new FX camera coming pretty soon. But I have to still work on it to get the final details. About the A7S4, did not get any detail. All I can tell you, alpha cameras are coming the second half of the year. 200, 400, 250 GM lens. No info about such a lens coming anytime soon, at least not in the next 4 or 5 months. Third-party aps-c glass, if there is any rumors. So Sony will probably announce something aps-c, but not something exciting, but I'm not sure about that. That's something that still I have to work on. But third-party, I think there were some Chinese manufacturers that will do aps-c autofocus E-mount lenses. I think I will post that news actually in a couple of minutes on sonyalpha.com, so from them there will be some lenses, but most lenses are really full frame nowadays. Charles asked me if he should buy a used FX9 or wait for a new camera. The FX9 is discounted. If you buy it used, it's even more affordable. If there will be a FX9 II, it will be more expensive. So usually if the FX9 now is right for the job that you do, it's actually the best time to buy it, because you will get it for a good price. The FX9 II, if it comes, will be way more expensive, have more features, but if the FX9 works fine for you, buy it. No, I don't have insights about the Nikon and Red takeover. Actually, that was quite a very secret launch, unexpected. Probably only the top managers between Nikon and Red knew about this, and of course all the lawyers and that, but not the normal employers at Nikon or at Red. I have no info about the new Z6III successor or whatever. What type of a fixed camera can we expect? This is something also that will probably go online soon on sonyalpha.com, so wait for that. Again, should be coming within the next 2-3 months, Luke. I don't have the exact launch date. I hope to get it soon. Any word on a rumored Sony drone with aps-c sensors? I haven't heard such a rumor yet. I heard about aps-c fixed models coming. That was a possibility, but not about a specific drone aps-c camera. Moses does own both the A7S III and the A1. Would you advise me to update both cameras now? No, wait. Absolutely wait. Unless you are not really using the cameras and you want to test out the new features and also test out the bugs, then you can do it. But if you have some serious work to do, absolutely never. That's in general, never do a firmware update the same day that a firmware gets released, unless you know that you can afford to have some bugs. Any update about the ZV-E10 II? So likely the camera will come in May or June. That's something that I can confirm. I didn't get any specs. I expect it to be a sort of A6700 more affordable clone without a EVF. That's it. That's my expectation. No, I'm not going to take pics because I think I don't have the solar eclipse here. It's so I cannot. About super zoom. You mean the 24 to 50? I heard it will be updated. Yes. I just don't know when this will happen, but I heard it will be updated. Tamron 2450 2.0 updates. Actually, I didn't get any Tamron info lately, and actually the past months, but actually that's because Tamron seems to be very busy in launching currently available Tamron E-mount lenses for other mounts like Z mount and X mount. So that's probably their focus now, and but I hope we will surely get some lenses this year. But I don't know if this will be a 2450 2.0. A small teaser. There might be something exciting, not from Sony, soon. A lot of people expect a success in the RX1 series. Yeah, Jean-Philippe, I actually tend to agree with you. I'm also a big fan of the interchangeable cameras, and so sometimes I wonder why you want to spend a lot of money on a fixed lens camera. But it really depends on how you make it, because the RX1R series is way more compact than the A7C series, which is something you cannot achieve easily with interchangeable mount. And the second thing, there is also an advantage in getting out with a camera that has only one lens, so you know exactly, you are more consistent with your photography and with your thinking. The limitations give you, in my opinion, often the possibility to be more creative. That's why, for example, I do shoot with a lens like this one, which is the Voigtlander 50mm 1.0 E mount that I just got. When I go out with this lens, I know I can only shoot a certain kind of photography, and that gives me some kind of freedom. So I think there's a value in having compact cameras for their size, for their focus they give you, and also, yeah, smaller things like lenses always perfectly designed for that sensor, and also you never get any dirt inside the camera. That's something that annoys me often. When I change the lens and then I shoot video, then you see a piece of dirt. That's annoying. On a fixed lens compact camera, this never happens. Wait, I have to scroll down. Will Sony ever make a 1550 2.8 2.8 for full frame? No, I don't think so. That's a classic aps-c focal length. Okay, will there be... Adam asked, no, I have no info about the 200-600mm G2, but I can see this happening because I know some of the older zoom lenses will be updated this year and next year. So this could be a candidate for such an update. Sony a6000, a6400 successor. No info at all about a new aps-c camera other than the ZV-E 2. The 85 1.2 is what we need from Sony, but I told you we will get an 85 1.4 GM2 in June. It will be a very compact, very sharp lens, but it will not be 1.2. Sorry, I have to... Maurizio is asking me in Italian if the RX100 lineup is now dead, so that there will be no successor. That's not an info I got. De facto it looks like it's dead because there was no successor since 7 years or something like this. But maybe the success of the Fuji compact X106 maybe can revive some of interest into developing the new RX fixed lens camera, but I don't know if there will be ever a new RX100 camera. If I think the FX3 will come out. So I've been told that this is the year for video, so there will be very video focused cameras. So I expect, for example, the A7S4, and I'm talking always about second half of the year. What I don't know if we're getting the A7S4 and the FX3II, or the FX3II will also replace the A7S3. That's something I don't know. So there will be definitely some E-mount video focused camera second half of the year. If I have any news on the A1II, none at all. All I told you, all I know is that for sure it's not coming anytime soon. So not within the next 6 months. Forget about this. So it's not coming. I have no news about the possible 70 to 70mm 4.0 full frame lens from Tamron. Do you think Sony may come out with a true high quality pancake lens? I think I saw some patents about Sony pancake lenses, but at least I know exactly what's coming, what are the next 4 lenses coming from Sony. I told you 10 minutes ago in this video, so scroll back if you want to hear, but there will be no pancake, at least till June, July for sure, no. If there are cheap telephoto primes coming, no, not that I know, at least not till July. The second half of the year, I heard about some lenses. This doesn't include telephoto primes, but maybe there will be something. What odds would you give you Sony releasing a medium format camera? Billy, I asked Sony many times to do that, but I don't know if they will do it. I think they should do it because yeah, they are already doing the sensors, so they from an engineering point of view, technical point of view, it's perfectly doable. But they also made patents, so that gave me hope that they might do it. So but those patents are now 3-4 years old, and we still didn't get any medium format camera. I think they should do it. I think there's a market for it, and the margins are great. Yeah, probably, I don't know. There is some part of me that tells me for Sony it's also comfortable to sit there making medium format sensors only and see how Hasselblad and Fuji are selling. If they fail, they don't lose that much money. If Fuji sells a lot, they make money. So I don't know. After using the A9 III 300 Gen, I must say it's the best combination ever I used for work as journalist. I agree. I think the A9 III got quite beaten down on the socials because of the small, maybe small dynamic range loss that nobody will ever notice in real life. And all the great features it has are, I think it's one of the cameras that you have to use in real world to understand how important it is. So if you have the chance to just hold it and take some shots in a store, do it, because I think you will be surprised. First of all, by the handling, best handling ever, and I think the features are very important. Me as a when I shoot videos, for me global shutter would be particularly important, because I have no more problems with lighting. I do documentary videos, so you know, often I'm inside a place with neon light, and then I get, you know, all that flickering, whatever, and that's annoying. So having global shutter for me would be quite important. I'm skipping some of your questions, sorry, because there are so many. Because, for example, some questions I cannot answer, like this one, I will skip because I cannot answer. So I don't know if they will I don't think they will ever update those lenses within the next 2-3 years, because they are pretty much new lenses. Benoit asked me what kind of features should be inside a upcoming Sony camera or software. LUT support, definitely. I think all those should be available from now on, and that will probably happen in most cameras. I think our issue is more that very high-end cameras like the A1, A7S III don't have all the features that we have sometimes on ZV cameras, but some Sony ambassador like Miguel Quiles told me that it also depends from the hardware used. Some of the older cameras that are high-end cameras like the A1 don't have specific hardware for certain features. So but I think from now on most cameras will have that. I'm particularly looking forward to a small detail that is like the new Type A faster card generation. That will double the speed. That will be very important. I hope it's coming, for example, on the A1II. So imagine having the Type A cards with double the speed, so you can record much more data faster. That will be one, probably, I think the A1II will have it, but that will be one of the cool features. Let me see, I have to scroll down. Yeah, some people have no problems at all with the firmware update. That's something also I noticed. So again, Sony released a no mature firmware update. It has bugs. It's normal that it happens, but those bugs only appear to some people, so keep it in mind. A7R6, it's not coming this year, and likely also not coming 2025. So the A7R6 is not coming anytime soon. I do own the A7R5 here, and I think it's, for me, it's personally, it's the best camera I can get, because I like the EVF, the high resolution EVF. I can do my YouTube videos, you know, like this. So I love the A7R5, and I think I have no reason to go over and buy an A7R6 anytime soon. So there are other cameras that should be coming before: the A7S4, the A7V, that will be an interesting camera, and then the A1II. Those three cameras are coming long before the A7R6. No info about 100-400 GM2 update, but this might be one of the lenses updated in 2024-2025. Yeah, Imran, I think I asked this in a YouTube video that Sony does a detachable EVF for Z3, but even for the FX cameras, I would love if they do it. I think they did it already 10 years ago for the next series, if you remember. Thanks, Brian. See you. I have no info about an action camera. I think Sony is missing an opportunity doing action cameras here. They should really do it. Like I told you previously, I'm a mountain biker and a hiker, so I sometimes have my action camera. I have a DJI Osmo, and but at the same time I'm a photographer and filmmaker, so I'm always pissed off by the quality. So it's good enough, but as soon as you're in a bad light situation, I'm not. I wish I would have a full frame action camera. I know it's over the top for many, but I would love it. No info about this lens from Canon. No, the A9 III firmware update is coming in late April and not in early April as initially stated by Sony. That's the only additional info I can give you. Jara Gardner Simmons heard about the A7S IV coming end of Q2. I didn't hear about this. I told you that trusted sources told me there will be a major event in May and June, or between May and June. That's for sure, the 85 GM2 and the Z3II, but I didn't hear about the A7S IV. I hope you're right. It's the first time I hear this. Maybe let me know if you think your source is credible or not. Drop me an email, but this is the first time I hear. Moving Matt asked me about you folks about Nikon buying red. I read some articles from people that are way smarter than me when it comes to those kind of mergers, and so I have no clear opinion on this. I'm more neutral because some people think like, this will now make Nikon cameras work like red cameras, and I think this is not the case because red is not plays in a higher segment, and I don't think low-end $2,000-3,000 Nikon cameras will really benefit from the red acquisition. That's not how it works. So there was a bit too much over excitement from the Nikon community thinking that now they would get pro video red kind of features on Nikon cameras. I don't think this is going to happen because that would kill the red sale. So I no idea, but an FX3 style camera from Nikon could be coming. Yeah, I think it could be coming because actually now 3 segments that are booming in the market. The video camera segment, so the FX cameras from Sony are selling super hot, so I think Nikon and Canon will do something here. The vlogger cameras are selling hot, and then there's the third segment, which is of course a compact fixed lens camera, but that is booming mainly because of the younger generation. And I do believe that Nikon will do some kind of FX style camera. I think there's a fair chance that they will do it, but I don't have yet info. I have to ask my Nikon source. I will write down your question and ask him what he thinks about this. I have no info about A6200. The Panasonic camera, I'm super excited about the 3 new Panasonic cameras registered because one is a high-end camera. This one should be coming in May or June. So the first camera from Panasonic should be coming in 1-2 months from now. I don't know what the other 2 cameras are. Maybe one could be a compact full-frame model, and the third, I hope it's the Micro Four Thirds GH7, but maybe it's a S1 something camera. What lens do you have on that camera? It's the Voigtlander 50mm 1.0. Bought it after long thinking if I should buy an autofocus prime, but then it becomes too big for me. I'm anyway a manual focus shooter because I want to focus sometimes on frames, on points of the image where the Sony algorithm wouldn't pick up. One eye instead of the other if a person isn't really looking in front of you, or having to focus out of focus face of the person and focus something in the back. That's something I'm used, creative use of the focus, and I like the size of the lens, and it's a true 1.0. Often you read 1.2, then the true transmission is a bit lower. This is a true 1.0 that is really sharp and an excellent lens. And something maybe many don't know, Voigtlander makes, Cosina is actually company behind, makes many lenses for other brands. So actually they make a ton of lenses for others, and then they make their own manual focusing lenses for different mounts, and they are mostly great lenses. No info yet about the S12 or H12 specs. I have nothing yet. Have you heard anything about faster SD card support or SD Express in any upcoming camera? I told you before that CF Express Type E cards got a new standard, so they are twice as fast, but you need new hardware. And it takes a couple of years to develop a camera for Sony or for any manufacturer. So the standard was announced back in autumn. So I think the first cameras that are coming with that new hardware will be best in 2025. I don't know about the faster SD card support. It could be. I don't think the A1 will get another major firmware update, and the reason for that is that Sony, first of all, is a bit slow in adding features, and as you saw, they didn't do it perfectly well, so they still have to go through a learning process. And the A12 is not really far out. It's not coming anytime soon, so not in the next 6 months, but I think it's coming early 2025. And so once the A12 is out, they will show no love for A1 owners. That's a bit pity, but that's something that most companies do. It is like this. Right. I don't have info about the ZV-E10 battery yet, but I got another rumor about batteries from Sony that will be posted maybe even next week. That is quite interesting. So I'm now scrolling down to, that was the last question. So and now my neighbor is starting to cut the grass. It's super noisy, and in 10 minutes I have my friends coming here, so I have to close that live stream. It was nothing revolutionary that I shared today, but I think the next live stream will be more interesting, because like I told you, from mid-April Sony will have an announcement, then another company will have an announcement, but I didn't write that rumor yet, so I cannot say what company, but it's another big announcement. So Sony, then that other company, then we have Nikon, Canon, then again Sony, all that within the next 2 months. And so it will be busy chat here in the next live chat. So today was quiet, but the next live chats will be very busy. So last question, request. I told you alpha cameras, full frame, coming second half of the year. About what exactly to expect, I heard about 2 full frame alpha cameras, but what to expect is something that I will share in the next 1-2 months, because I want to be 100% sure to give you the exact info about those cameras. Okay, folks, God bless. Okay, whatever. So folks, this is it. I thank you for being here, for your questions, and expect me to share more rumors the next coming weeks. It will be always a funny time in the next months. That's something for sure that I can tell you. That's it. See you soon.